Hey there. I hope you're having a beautiful day. I'm Becky North, and I'm here with my favorite flipping gal, Lacey Verbeck. How are you today, Lacey?
Hey Becky, I am doing great. I got a nap in this afternoon and that was just absolutely delightful
Mm.
and unusual for me. I'm not much of a napper, but I can get behind a good one. Uh so yeah, I'm feeling a little refreshed actually. And big news this week was that my daughter my old beautiful college student daughter finished up one of her internships and actually was blessed to start a second one this summer that's going to carry her all the way through the school year, which is amazing and just right in her just right smack dab in the middle of her passion and what she loves to do. So it's really exciting, and congratulations to my girl.
Yes, cheering you on, sweet
Yeah.
girl. So
How about
proud of
you?
you. I am great. I actually found it's August, right? And so some people believe that's fall. I don't think it's fall yet, but we're getting close. But I found the best candle at TJ Maxx this weekend,
Ooh.
and it was huge, and it's pumpkin waffles, and it smells so good. There was also like a cinnamon bun one, and I didn't get it, and I think I'm gonna have to go back because I've like been dreaming about it. So it smelled just like French toast. It was so good. But this pumpkin waffles
Oh,
one is like it's light, but I'm kind of weird about candles. I don't want like it just is a really beautiful smell. And the smell of cinnamon brings me joy. And so I am grateful for that candle this
yes.
week.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? You made me think of something that I was dreaming about when you just said that. I met the most beautiful lime green philodendron at Walmart last week. And yes, I'm a crazy plant lady. And yes, a philodendron is a plant. I I
Did
was
it
at
come?
Walmart buying bird seed for my birds because I'm an
Mhm.
old lady. Working on my grandma bot and my birds. But I digress. I met this beautiful plant and I didn't buy it because it was $25. And I was like, I have lots of plants. One of these days I'll share my plant room on social media so you all can see. But for right now, I have a lot of plants, and I decided not to purchase this particular philodendron. And I've been dreaming about it ever since.
So does that mean that you're gonna go back and bring it home?
I hope, yeah, I hope so.
Well, your amazing husband might regret you coming on here with me tonight as I encourage you to just go ahead and do that.
Don't tell him. He rolls his eyes bigger every time I bring one home.
Well,
But this
I
one
know
was
sometimes he
a
helps
beauty.
with editing, so do it before we edit so that way he doesn't he doesn't be like, what the heck, Becky?
Right. So he has no chance of talking us out of it because
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I might need your help, ladies, naming my new philodendron once he comes home. But I have been thinking, dreaming is the
Yep.
right word. Just dreaming about him. And yeah, that's a him.
Well,
He's a him. That's funny.
it's a him. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I I'll be sure to give you an update when I go back to the store and
Tomorrow. Okay.
Becky's like, you're doing it.
Do it
We're
now.
scheduling it. All right. Anyway, I'm totally off track. Sorry about that. It was just
No,
funny.
no. Let's go ahead and find your cozy corner, grab your favorite drink, and hang out for just a bit.
Today, we're talking about the healing power of connection because some days, if we're being real, we all feel a little bit crazy. The mental load is heavy, the emotions are high, and it's easy to forget that we don't have to carry it all alone.
Mm.
Turns out, science says that those check ins with your besties aren't just comforting, they can actually lower your stress and calm your nervous system. So, it,
I
Oh, go
Go ahead.
ahead.
Go. No, I was just going to say, I'm so excited about this episode. I'm so excited to talk about the power of connection. And, Lacey, if it's okay, I'd love to actually share like what kind of led us here, because um, I actually think it was you who found this just really kind of amazing like research post and shared it with me. And we decided that this was a great topic for today. So this actually comes from a study out of UCLA about stress. And we can cite all
Yes.
of that for you guys later. But research shows that women who communicate with trusted females during stressful times tend to have lower cortisol levels, the body's mainstream stress chemical. These supportive connections aren't just comforting, they're actually biologically calming. Cortisol plays a major role in how we handle anxiety, mood, and physical well being. When it spikes, we feel overwhelmed, anxious, and tense. But these studies revealed that women who engage in the tend and befriend behaviors, seeking out emotional support, talking through our feelings, even hugging someone they trust with their stress, it decreases their levels significantly. That's a huge, huge thing. And I love that
Mm,
it's science backed.
I love this so much. And tend and befriend. I've never heard that before, Becky, but that just hits me right in the heart. Like, doesn't that make you feel like such a doesn't that make you feel the warm fuzzies? Did
Yes.
anybody ever say that to you when you were a kid? The warm
Yeah.
fuzzies.
Yes. Yes.
That's what it makes me think of. I love
Hmm.
it.
Yeah.
Uh
I'm super excited about this one, and I'm
and do you
glad
know what
that.
I don't love? I don't love cortisol.
Mm,
Yes.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. So my current age and stage, cortisol equals belly fat equals Lacey feels bad about herself. Um, so yeah, so no more cortisol. I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna
Right. Well,
fight
I mean,
the
it
good
is
fight
important
with
in our
cortisol.
body, but it does do to women particularly. It does have a lot of effects after we hit a certain age and stage. But it is literally like the fight or flight in our body. It is. It is that response
It's what
for
happens,
us.
right? It's what
Mhm.
happens like in our wholeness after
Yeah.
that is triggered, right? So I think the what they're I don't know kind of what they're getting at in this research is that what can we do to get triggered less? What can we
Yes.
do to minimize
Yeah.
triggers
Well,
and even getting that moving period, right? Like
yeah.
how can we stop that?
Yeah. I I agree. It's funny. This just came up for me, which is both related and unrelated, maybe, but is that like not that men don't deal with cortisol, but I think at least in the studies and stuff I'm seeing, and now I'm a woman, and so maybe that's targeted, right? But like it is talking with it a lot more with women and like how we're seeing those effects in our bodies and stuff like that. But
Mhm.
do you think that it is because we kind of suck it up and keep going, right? Like, and so then by the time we get to that certain age and stage, how much of that have we just built up because we haven't let it out?
Mhm. I
Mhm.
think that's a great point. I think either don't have the luxury of or don't give ourselves the
Mhm.
time and space to process when something does trigger us,
Right.
right? When we get to the point where that response is activated, we don't get to recover
Yeah.
sometimes because of all the things and
Yeah.
life keeps moving.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's a stellar good point. And I think we also I would raise my hand as a guilty party that even if it isn't circumstantial, I am not inclined to give myself the space or
Yeah.
to bring my attention back to something
Right.
that triggered me. Does that make sense? Like
Mhm.
I don't necessarily want to go back there. I don't necessarily want to revisit.
Yep.
I don't sort of that I'm going to call it recovery process.
Mhm.
I don't enjoy that. I, or maybe I'm going to restate.
Mm.
2 years ago, me did not ever want to go back there. It
Hmm.
was like, yeah, okay, it's done. It's trauma. Pack it away. Let's go. Right.
Let
Like
me put this in my
not
trauma bag.
trauma,
No, I
not
agree.
trauma,
I
but
like,
like, okay,
yeah.
I got triggered. That sucked. That was hard. I'm stressed. Whatever. Let's put it away. And then, and then just let me drag around this big heavy bag forever,
Hmm.
rather than unpack each situation as it arises. And I've definitely changed the way I see that. And I've
Hmm.
actually I have even more awareness around what causes the triggers and how I can even stand down from that.
Hmm.
How I can just not even go there. Little things, Becky, like the let them theory, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I know we talk about this a lot. It's a magical book. Go read it. All hail
Yeah.
Mel Robbins. But for
We're not
me,
sponsored, but we could be.
um, but little things like that help me not get there, help me
Mhm.
not have the stress response.
Yeah.
Um, and I am practicing, girl, 100%.
Yes.
But I know, I what is it? The old GI Joe cartoon that used to be like, and knowing's half. Now you know, and knowing's half the battle. So
Yep.
like it's like that. Now I know what triggered. Now I know a lot more about what triggers me, and therefore I can avoid, or I
Right.
can uh pivot myself in a new direction to avoid the whole thing. And I think I've mentioned this before, Becky, and I don't know if I read it. I don't know if I read straight from the book or not, but in a previous episode, we talked a lot about how one of the most profound things I learned from her book was about the physiological response that happens
Hmm. Yeah.
in the body when the stress response is triggered.
Yeah.
And it sounds far more impactful and dangerous than I thought.
Right. Well, and I think too, like with anything, the more that you're putting on and holding on to, like you just said, 2 years ago, Lacey would just put it in the bag, file it, right? And just, we're
Yeah.
going to just bring those files with us everywhere we move, right? And I think that the more that we do that, like the faster we see the effects of stress and cortisol and those things because it is stored. Whether or not we're giving it attention, it's still in our body, right? So the same thing, like people who are slowly being poisoned, which is such a weird concept, but it's like that's the only thing I can really relate it to is that like
Yeah.
that poison is building up in their bodies, right?
Mm-hmm.
So may only be a splash in their coffee, but like I watch way too much Dateline, obviously, but like it may only be a splash in the coffee, but like over time that continues to build up in your body. And the same thing here. And it makes complete sense to me that this study is saying like women who are talking to other women, right? Because I think that on a hormonal level, on a physical level, on just the differences between men and women, and this is like, I can't speak to being a dad. I am not a dad, right? Like,
Right.
I can't speak to being a husband. I'm not a husband. But like, I know that there are things that I'm like, you cannot fucking understand. Please don't tell me, oh, I know how you feel. There is no way because you cannot,
Yes.
right? Like, and so it makes sense to me that it would say, like, talking to somebody who, on some level, like the empathy can be there on a different level than it could with, say, your spouse or your partner or, you know, your best guy friend.
Yeah, for sure. I I think it's for me when I let's say like when I get on the phone with you, for example, you're one of those friends that's good for my stress hormone. Congratulations.
Well, thank you. I'll write you a prescription.
Right, write me a prescription. Uh but I think the thing that I probably most appreciate or most get out of our conversations is, well, first of all, I think women know how to listen to women better than any well-intentioned man could ever listen to a woman. Like I think we just like register each other on a energetic level that I don't necessarily have a name for.
Mhm.
But it's almost like I'm gonna get a little deeply metaphysical here, but it's almost like it's creator to creator.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like it's like we we bring life, right? Like life, like we have a
Yeah.
we have a next level depth
Mhm.
to how we're integrated in this life, you know, and I don't think I don't think we can get it from anybody else.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I again, I don't know, probably maybe 10, 15 years ago, I wouldn't have given this a second thought. I would have been like, yeah. I got this. Like, I don't need to talk to anybody else. I got this. Like, I'm just gonna roll and mind my business, and everybody's gonna do their thing, and I'm too busy, right,
Yeah.
to stop and really appreciate the yeah, the value of the connection. And now I'm like, oh, it's like medicine that if I don't get, I get really dry and cracked.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm actually glad that you said that like 10 or 15 years ago part where you were like, I probably wouldn't have poured that much into it. Like, I'd love to talk about that a little bit about why are the reasons that we don't
Mm,
connect, right? Like,
mm,
why don't we? And I think that was like one of the ones I have just, like a 3-point list here, but one of them was like, oh, people are busy and
yeah.
they don't like, I don't want to be a burden,
Mm, mm-hmm.
right? Like, but I think, I have kind of a handful of people that I like to call them like my 2 a.m. friends. I know that I could call them at 2 a.m., right? Like,
Yeah.
and I feel very blessed to have as many as I do because I know not everybody does, right? And
Mm-hmm.
but like I think that if that handful of people you included, Lacey, heard me be like, "Oh, I don't want to bother her because I would be a burden," that I would probably get a pretty like talking to, right? Like what are you talking about, right? And
Yeah.
because I think as much as sorry, I'm trying to think about the right way to say this, but as much as I'm like, "Whoo, I don't want to be a burden," I'm also like, "Let me lift that burden from you." Like for my friends, like we're not supposed to do it alone.
No.
We're not supposed to do it alone. Let me be in it with you. I might not be able to fix it. I might not do anything other than let you know you're not alone. You're not crazy. You're not cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, right? Like it's a bad moment, maybe
But
a hard
doesn't,
season.
doesn't this research though, doesn't this research we just shared prove that actually by you withholding your need for connection from your friend, that you're actually not serving them either.
Right.
You're not serving both of you.
Right.
You're stealing an opportunity from them
Yeah.
to experience the the I guess medical, right? The
Hmm.
physical
Yeah.
benefits of lowering that stress hormone by saying, "Oh no, I don't want to be a burden. I don't want to bother them."
Right.
You're actually robbing them of an opportunity to heal.
Yeah. Man, what a way to look at that, right?
Interesting, right? Well,
Interesting.
and reasons why we don't. I think busy. Now I want to go back to busyness for a second because busyness, I think, applies to I don't want to be a burden because they're busy. I think busyness is also internal, right? Like
Yes.
for me, I mean, I certainly this is something I have suffered from in the past. That I'm too busy to stop and feel it. I'm
Yeah.
too busy to process it,
Yep.
to think about it. I'm just gonna go. I got
Yeah.
things to do. Get out of my way. That's not important. Put it in the bag.
Put it in the bag. Yeah.
And yeah, I mean that's a huge reason why
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah, I think too, like being the strong one. I think a lot of women will
Mm.
relate to that, right? Like,
Mhm.
oh, I don't want to. And that kind of goes back with like burdening them, but I'm not going to share this because I'm the strong one. Like they're going through something right now. So I need to be the strong one. Well, like what could be true is that you're going through something and I'm going through something, and together we can be stronger, right?
Mhm.
Like
Yes.
even if those things are completely unrelated. I think I've talked about in an episode in season one. I talked about my Mima used to tell, she would like hold up your hand, and she like such a short little sweet lady, but like, and she talked about how like as people we all have strengths and we all have weaknesses, and she's like, when you're looking at your hand, for those of us who are on YouTube, you can see me like demonstrating with my big old hands here, but when you're looking at your hand, you have like your fingertips, which are your strength, and you have like the in between your fingers, which are your valleys, and those are your weaknesses, right? Because we can't all be good at everything, and we need other people to come in. And so when somebody else comes in and connects with us, their their strengths, their peaks fill our valleys, right? And
Mm.
then we create this cohesiveness, right? We are not like, gosh, I can't say this enough times, but like we aren't supposed to do it alone. This whole like independent family, do it all by yourself. This is like a still relatively very new thing
Yeah, it
if you
is.
look at like the history of the world.
Yeah, it is. And you know why it's new? Because it's not the way.
Well, and it sucks.
We've lost our way.
Yeah.
Um you know, there's a situation actually present in my life right now that is totally related to this, and I'll just share briefly, protecting privacy, of course. Um a friend of mine, her father is nearing the end of his life, and I have been a very I've been very she's she's one of my very, very best friends. And I have been very forward with my support and my love, and very, very vocal. Like, how can I help you? Let me send dinner. You
Yeah.
know, can I take a load off? What do you need? Can I go and sit with him? Is there, I've been
Yeah.
very vocal with my support. Maybe more so than is characteristically natural for me. I've sort of been taking an extra step forward because
Mhm.
I really feel like I could be of
Yeah.
service here. And I by no I mean, obviously she has an awful lot going on, and she's the child who lives closest, so it sort of
Mhm.
is incumbent upon her to,
Yeah.
work with his end of life care and all that. And she has some siblings, but they're at a distance, and so it's really all falling on her. And the thing is, like, she's kind of just gone into a bubble, if you will. And I'm sure it's a stress reaction, right? I'm sure it's also a, you know um fear,
Yeah.
right? A lot of things is, she's never lost a parent, right? I mean, there's the great unknown, right? Lots and lots of things out there, and I certainly understand the 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 scope of what she's trying to handle, but she um hasn't been able to receive
Hmm.
my, um I guess, love and support. I mean, maybe I can't say what she's received in her heart space, but
Yeah.
I can say that my offers of support and care really haven't been received. Um,
Hmm.
and I think this is related because what she's doing is just carrying on. She's just soldiering on because she doesn't think anyone else deserves to be involved in this really hard thing.
Hmm.
But I think the truth of it is that, like, if she had someone to like if she had someone who was willing to walk alongside.
Mhm.
And she has a beautiful family and a beautiful spouse, and I'm not in any way, shape, or form putting myself before them, but they're not women.
Well, and I think, um, yes, all of that. And I'm gonna say when I lost my dad, um, now my children were very, very young at the time, and like my first instinct was to protect them, and so I
Sure.
told my husband to stay with them because
Mm-hmm.
I wanted them to be protected, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
needed to know that so that I had the space to do what I needed to do. But
Yeah.
my best friend, who I call her my forever friend, we've been friends for so long, and she uh she didn't take no for an answer. And I'm not saying, but like very different circumstances, first of all, very, very
I
different
have.
circumstances.
I have
Like,
taken no for an answer, and
yeah,
I'm feeling feelings every day
yeah,
about it.
yeah. Well, and I, like I said, very, very different circumstances. Like we knew once it was happening, it was happening fast. And she has dealt with a lot of loss in her life. And I was trying also to protect her from that. And like we lived at each other's houses when we were kids, right? Her mom was
Yeah.
my mom, my dad was her dad. Like it was just like that. And so, and she was like, no, I'm going to be there with you. And I knew that that was bringing up other things for her too. But like looking back, even though I tried really hard to push her out, right? And it was out of protect. It was out of protect, right? But like, man, I don't know that I could have handled that without her. And so the reason that I say that, Lacey, is because you are probably being a bigger supporter than you feel, right? Just because she knows that somebody sees her, right? Because in
Yeah.
that moment, right? And sometimes it's not that we can lift the burden, it's just that we let people know that we're there. One of the things that I had written down was um, you have to be a friend to have a friend. So you need to show
Mm,
up as the friend that you need,
mm,
right?
beautiful.
Like, I think
Yes.
that it's really important as we're talking about this and connecting with people that, like, I'm just going to say this is not like a free pass to just go and dump all of your things and then be like, okay, see you later.
Right. Here, I'm
Right.
lowering my cortisol levels. Thank you very much. Bye.
Yeah. And then peace out. Okay. Well, that was, now I feel better later. Right. Like that's not, that's not what this is. We like, and sometimes it needs to be right. But like it's really important that we're showing up as the friend that we need to be
Mm-hmm.
to those people in our lives, right? Because
Yes.
well, like attracts like, first of all, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And second of all, like, yeah, it's just people are going to be more willing to pick up the phone when you call or to do that if they know that it's not just a take relationship.
Yes. That it's reciprocal. I
Yeah.
totally agree. Yeah, and you know who those people are.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I think
Yeah.
through my virtual phone book, right? There are people
Yep.
I'll answer the phone for, and others,
Yeah.
nope.
Same.
And it because I know I'm either going to be drained or I'm going to have my cup filled,
Yeah.
right? Like
Well,
the and yeah. And I think, it speaks to something, Becky, that I know you wanted to talk about also in this episode about how communication has become that much easier and that much more in the forefront, yet we have that much more control, through
yeah.
our smartphones and things. So I know you want to talk about technology, but it brought up for me, though, like I get to make decisions. Back when I was growing up, we had rotary phones
Right.
with
Yes.
big long, big long cords. Do you remember these? I'm sure you all remember these, right?
Yeah.
Big long cords like this, and it was the big plastic handset, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there was no caller ID, and you had when you answered the phone, you were taking a gamble.
Yeah.
Who's on the other end of the line, right? You had no control.
Yeah. And
Think
you didn't
about
know
it.
who else in your house was going to pick up the line.
Well, Well, that too. So you got to be careful. No hanky panky on the other line. Well, dad or mom or dad might be listening. But now though, it's an interesting dynamic because we didn't have control before, right? So it was like
Yeah.
whatever somebody's puking out through the phone, you had no choice but to listen.
Hmm.
Now we have all the control.
Yeah. And I would argue that we're less connected.
100%. So isn't that
Right.
isn't that interesting that uh, mm, I'm not going to say it was better when we didn't have control, but how much less connected we are certainly seems to be a
Hmm.
result
Yeah.
of our ability to filter.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Oh,
It's funny
yeah.
because the other reason why I had around we don't, and this does connect, I promise, was like I think this connects with the technology piece because I think like we're posting our highlight reels,
Mm,
right? We're posting like, look at how awesome this was, or look at how much they've grown, or and like I love that. Let's be real, but I think that sometimes it's easy to forget that that's not what real life is like all of the time,
yeah.
right? And there's this like I'm gonna call it like the Instagram perfect, right? Like
Right.
picture, and it's like, oh, this isn't perfect, so I don't want to share it,
Mm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
No matter
Yeah.
what that
So
is.
you're talking about like when you would connect with a friend, like
Yeah.
you don't want to share a story with words by phone that might not be perfect.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I think
Yeah.
that could be a reason why we don't reach out, why we don't pick up the phone, why that connection isn't there is because it feels less than perfect. I saw this
Yeah. Because it doesn't look good
really
enough. That
yeah.
makes a lot of sense.
I saw this really funny meme today. Like, I'm gonna have to find it and share it to our socials. But it said like the parents who can be like, "Oh, I love my children. Look at how fast they're growing." And oh my gosh, I could strangle these little assholes are my type of people. And I was like,
Uh-huh.
oh, I don't know if anything has ever fit so hard. Like, um, not that I'm promoting violence because I'm not, but like the idea of like we can love the life that we have and still be like, ooh, this is hard.
Hmm.
This is hard,
Yes, and the
right?
more we normalize hard, the easier it is to talk about. Therefore, the better connections,
Yeah.
right?
And
Like,
the more we talk about it and the more support we have, the less hard it is,
ooh, really good point. Yeah, yeah.
right?
Huh, it's kind of like it's we prevent ourselves from getting the thing that we need
Hmm.
for standing in our own way
Yeah.
because do you think though do you think it's about do you think it's about energy though? Do you think it's about output and effort? Like it's too hard to go there. It's too long a story to tell. It's too involved a situation. Like is it about we it's it's too hard for us to put it out there in order to get the support? Do you think it's about that?
Maybe. I think personally, I think there's a lot. I think there's a lot of that. I also think there's a lot of um I'm going to say emotional awareness. Like I have a different level of emotional awareness than the level of emotional awareness I was raised with,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um and I think that we hear things in the news and on media and social media about like trauma dumping and this and that, and like I think that there have been a lot of stigmas created around that, and the fake it till you make it. And even, and this is going to seem very controversial because I know that we say this a lot, but like what you focus on you get, like, right? And all of those things are true still, and like we still have to process our feelings, we still have to go through it. And while I think that we have the level of emotional awareness, I don't like we still also have the suck it up and move on from our childhoods. At least that's how it was for me. I can't speak for everybody, but right,
Mm,
like whereas like now, and I've talked about this a lot, and I know you have too, Lacey, but like even with my own kids, I'm like, tell me what you're actually feeling. Like, let's get to the root of what this is. Let's, instead of just like, okay, I mean, sometimes it's like, okay, it's time to be done. Like
yeah.
we have to move, right? But which I think that that is important sometimes, because sometimes you have to do that. And like the holding it, like you said, is hard. It's hard to then like bring it all back, because I think that as women particularly, we feel deeply.
Mm-hmm.
And so especially if it's a situation that hurt us at our core, or we feel like questioned who our being is, or you know, or I mean, like kids can just say things that will like hurt you more than anybody, you
Yeah.
know, right? Like,
Oh, yeah.
and all of those things. And so I do think that there is a level of like, man, this is just too hard. It's too much. I don't want to share those things because of XYZ.
Mm, I love that. And as you were talking, it also came up for me that kind of on the receiving end. So that was about the difficulty of like getting over the hump of sharing or reaching out for help, right? When you feel like it's just too much to unpack. But on the receiving end, I don't know about you, Becky. I'd love to hear your thoughts, but I also kind of have to be in the right mood or the right headspace to really receive and witness someone else in a meaningful way, because I also can I don't know, well, I don't want to make myself sound like a monster, but like I can not listen, right? Like I can kind of wander off and not listen and not like, I, I can sort of lose interest pretty quick,
Yeah.
I guess, uh, if I'm not in the right space.
I'm going to challenge you on that. As somebody who I think knows you pretty well, and I think, well, first of all, let me say, I think all people can do that. Okay. But I think that if you were having the terrible, awful, no good, very bad day, and I called you and I said, I just need somebody to listen, I know that you would stop and listen,
Yes, I
because
would.
you have,
Yes, I
right?
would.
Because you're a 2 a.m. friend. Like, I mean
I
that,
love that.
like that is really how I look at that 2 a.m. friend, because you're a 2 a.m. friend. Just like you, I hope that you know that if you called me and you said, I need somebody,
Of course.
I just need somebody to listen and hold space and like talk me through this moment, like that I'm going to do that, right?
Hmm.
Because I'm a 2 a.m. friend. Now, would I be able to do that for everybody in my Rolodex? No.
Right. I guess that's what I'm getting at. And yes, I know you're my 2 a.m. friend, and you're beautiful and I appreciate
Oh,
you.
well, thank you.
Um, I guess what I mean is like if someone who's not a 2 a.m. friend was like, hey, can you, can I call you, or can you, I'm having this hard thing. Like if they reached out, and let's say it's a fairly, it's an uncommon reach out, right?
Mhm.
Like I kind of have to set up my space, if you know what I mean. Right, like I
Mhm.
have to like be ready for that. And I think that's another thing that maybe we don't talk about enough, is like how do we set up the space
Mhm.
to be there for someone else, right? Because we may know what we would love, or we may know what we need to feel seen, to be witnessed, to unpack
Mhm.
something with someone, to move through it. But you know I don't think it's worth considering, like what do you need in order to be that for someone else? How can you sort of I don't know, clear the corners and set the tone for being able to, not non-judgmentally and just lovingly hold
Yeah.
space.
Um, that's a great question. And I have a very hard time answering that as a recovering people pleaser.
Right.
um, because the recovering people pleaser in me is like, drop everything, give you my focus, right? Like, even, and
At
I
your own
think,
expense.
yeah, even at my own expense,
Mhm.
definitely.
Mhm.
Um, and I think that I have become more aware of that as I have gotten older, and I do less of picking up the phone, which I'm not saying is necessarily the right answer, right? Like, I'm not saying that
It's a
that's the right,
confessional, Becky.
it's a
Tell us all.
confessional. Yeah.
Tell
I'm
us
not saying
all
that's necessarily the
your
right
bits.
answer, but I think in the current state, that is one of the ways. I think the other thing is that for the uncommon person, I'm like, what do you need from me?
Hmm.
Like I ask, like, what does support look like? What in this situation? Because because as a recovering people pleaser, I want to fix it.
Mm.
But I don't think that having the conversation is fixing it. I think the reason having the conversation, I'm not a medical doctor, right? This is my personal opinion, but I think that the reason having the conversation helps to lower those levels is because A, we're like literally purging it from our body, right?
Yep.
And B, because we just want to be seen and heard,
Hmm.
right? I
Yes.
don't like, I don't, I'm not like, Lacey, let me tell you about what happened in this medical situation with a family member of mine because I know you can fix it. And I use that as an example because that's something that we've talked about, right? But like, I know that there's nothing you can do to fix that. Hell, I can't fix it, right? Like, it's not
Yeah.
about fixing it. It's about like just needing somebody to witness me, somebody
Hmm.
to see me.
Hmm.
And if I can put the people pleaser aside, for me personally, I'm not speaking for everybody, but you asked me. So like if I could put the people pleaser aside and I can just bear witness to somebody, then I think I am willing to give up 12 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour to bear witness to somebody because that bearing witness could literally save somebody's life.
Hmm. Yes, ma'am. And I one thing that I have learned, and I think I learned this back in 2019. I had an opportunity to do a beautiful event in Colorado called Walk Fest. And it was about healing in the wilderness. Like it was a celebration of healing, but it was about specifically kind of discover walking with your shadow and wilderness therapy. And it was this really beautiful group of a couple thousand people in the mountains. And one of the exercises we did, I was actually a part of the event planning team, but I got to participate in some of the exercises and classes and things. And one of the things I got to participate in was a teacher led a witness, like, I don't even remember what she called it, but it was like an intimacy experiment. And it was about witnessing another person fully, and
Mm-hmm.
it was like 2 hours long. It was this really incredibly beautiful experience. But what I learned was that that it isn't a burden to accept, right? Other people's stuff isn't a burden for you to accept. That
Mm-hmm.
witnessing is actually it's more of an energetic exchange.
Mm-hmm.
It's more of a like up and out, right? It's more of a it's a release, not a
Mm-hmm.
dumping, right?
Yeah.
But your presence and your willingness to witness the other person facilitates the release.
Mm-hmm.
And then both of you leave lighter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Both of you leave with love in your heart, and both and so it's I learned then that being a witness to someone and giving them my time and giving them my space is actually it's a gift. It's a gift for both of us. And it isn't about me taking on other people's stuff, right? it
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't have to be. It can
Yep.
be. I think if you don't do it right, it can be, right? And that's the piece that people are like, oh, no, I do not have time for that. I don't want to hear that noise. I don't need any other people's baggage, all that kind of stuff that you hear people say. But
Mhm.
when you actually really learn how to witness someone, it's a beautiful and nourishing
Mhm.
experience for
Yeah.
the person who's witnessing.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I
So
agree completely.
I don't
I
know. So
agree
yeah, so
completely.
it's almost like once you've discovered that, you're just willing
Yeah.
because it feels really sacred.
Mhm. Yeah.
So
Yeah, I agree completely. I think that reminds me so much of I read this, or maybe it was a video or a reel or something one time, but it talked about the 12-minute friend and
yeah,
about how having and I think I sent it to you, but like having a 12-minute conversation with your friend can completely transform the way that your day is. And I was like, man, like coming into this episode, I really did feel like, oh gosh, how true is that? Because like honestly, it was a hard day for me. Like like I am super grateful for my candle. I'm not like BSing you guys because I can see it lit like right.
yeah.
But like it was a hard day for me. And I had this like, whoo, I know that I could message and say, hey, can we record tomorrow? And that Lacey, being the wonderful human that she is, would have been like, I got you. Right. And but I was also like, I leave every phone call with Lacey, even if I'm not dumping, right? I leave every phone call feeling better,
Oh.
right? And so selfishly, I showed up for me, right? And you guys, but
And you
and mostly me. But but like I mean that like that rule about like man, if we can bear witness but also be willing to bear our souls, I think that's like the double edge of the sword, right? Like we have to be willing to bear and bear.
mm. I've never heard it like that, Becky. I
Me
love that.
neither. Thanks, universe.
Bear, thank you. We'll take
But
it.
yeah, like
Bear
I do
witness
think
and
bare our souls.
bear your soul. Mm,
Yeah.
beautiful.
And when we can do when we are lucky enough to find, because I don't think that every person we ever come across is going to be that person,
Mm-mm.
right? Like I think they were probably that person for somebody, but it doesn't mean they're that person for you, right? And that's where I was like, man, I feel really lucky to I probably have a handful of people that I know I could call at 2 a.m. and they would answer the phone. People that I could say, hey, it doesn't matter what's going on. Like I need you right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I can, without fear of judgment, without like, oh gosh, they're too busy. And like the moment of breaking, I can be like, I need support.
Mm-hmm.
And that they're going to do that. And I feel very, very blessed. So I hope that I think most of those people actually listen to this podcast. And well, you are one of them.
Aw.
I'm not going to name names because I don't think I need to. But I think if you were one of my 2 a.m. friends, I think I've let you know. I think you know that. And I am grateful that you were in my life.
Oh, I love that your 2 a.m. friends are listening. I
Mm.
love you. Uh, I love you by proxy
Oh,
because
well, you're one of my 2 a.m. friends and you
I'm
have
the
to be here.
co-host.
So,
Well, so I wanted to share something that you made me think of just then, and it is that um okay, now I'm gonna forget. Never mind. I don't know. What was I gonna
I
say?
believe it's going to come back to you.
It'll come back to me. Yeah, right mood, right headspace. Nope, that's not it. Well, anyway, I did want to make sure we covered your talking about the technology and the communicating easier, faster,
Yeah.
consistently. Yet we really don't do it. Like
Right.
I want to circle back to that because I think that I'm going to make a confession here a little bit. I hide behind this
Mm,
a little bit,
same.
a little bit, and that I think that's worth talking about. That's worth
Yeah.
talking about, and talking about um how it affects the stress hormone, because this is an interesting observation for me. Even if I don't respond, I'm still triggered. Does that, yeah? You just sat back like, oh, yeah. For those of you watching us on YouTube, Becky just had a big response. Yeah. Like I still, when when shit comes through barreling through my phone, whether or not I respond, whether or not I reach out, whether or not I ask for support, whether or not like that shit is triggering me 24 hours a day.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes, yes,
You
yes.
know, and then what I've done is create a whole bunch of work that I don't have time to get through. I mean, create
Yes.
a whole bunch of processing, right? I mean, energetic work that I mean, whew, we have got to we got to put some rails on that shit, some
Yeah.
safeguards, you know what I mean, to protect your peace.
Yes. I like, do you know I actually turn notifications off for messaging on my
I do
phone?
too.
I
I do
don't
too.
get notification pop-ups because of that exact thing.
Yeah.
But I will also say that there are times where I think that I'm protecting my space when really I'm probably just hiding, right? And I close in and I stop communicating because it feels like fight or flight, just like we talked about earlier, right? But um uh and I wonder if sometimes we allow those. I'm going to use text messaging as an example because I think in today's world most people text, right? Like when we got a text message from Landon's grandpa, I knew the whole world was doing it now. Right? Like I think most people text, and I actually love the idea of text messaging because it feels like, oh, I can say something super quick. However, my phone's autocorrect has been like, I think all my friends might think I'm a drunkard recently because it's been real bad. But like, and I'm not like looking because I'm excusing here, but like, oh, I have to move on to the next thing. So bang, 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 bang. And I send it and they're like, I don't know what that means. Right. So I think like if we're gonna be present, let's take the moment to be present, right? And B, like you said, set up the safeguards for whatever that looks like for you. And then C, I have a C here, is like, are we, especially from a text written message, right? Like literal text. I don't even mean like text message. I mean like literal letterers on your screen, right? Whether that's on Facebook or that's on a work chat or that's on an email or that's on a text or whatever. Like, are we reading more into it than it really is?
Oh yeah.
Right? Because like
Uh-huh.
the thumbs up emoji, you want to know how to turn me off real fast? Thumbs up something. I am like, I'm pretty sure that's the middle finger. I don't think that that means great. I'm pretty sure
Mm-hmm.
that's a great big screw you.
Yeah.
Like,
I think that at work too. I'm like, professionally, I just flipped you off.
yeah.
Thumbs
Or
up.
don't just say K, right? Like, I would rather you not respond than respond with K,
Mm-hmm.
right? But that's me. That's like, that's my ownness. That's not necessarily whoever is intending to say that. So if we need clarification, if we're reading into it too much more, what if we just asked? What I think you're saying is blah, blah, blah. Right? Did I
Or
interpret
plug
that
it
right?
into Chat GPT and ask it to tell it to you nicer,
Yeah.
like we said
Or
in last
pick
week's
up the
episode.
phone and call them. Or actually hit the dial button, right? Or
You're right.
in
Yeah.
some cases you just leave it, right? Because when it's the passive aggressive text from the person in your family that you don't really talk to, and they think that you blinked wrong the third Sunday of April when you were wearing the yellow hat in the back of the church, right? Like, who cares?
Yeah.
Right? Like, just don't, like, you don't even have to respond, just delete. Boom. Keep on going. Like, don't hold
Yeah.
on to it if you don't have to.
Yeah. I just, Becky, you're spot on again. I always, but I just want to say too, like, ju- I love what you just said. Just trash it, throw it away. Like, but pay attention, ladies. Pay attention to what triggers you. Pay
Mm-hmm.
attention to what's coming in
Yep.
your phone that makes you go, ugh, right?
Yeah.
And get rid of that shit or silence it or mark it as junk, or I don't know what. I mean, there's a million things
Yeah.
you can do, right? But I yeah, I am learning more and more and more each day to protect my peace,
Mm-hmm. Yes. Well,
because the I no longer want to carry that bag of shit around, right? The
mhm.
bag of shit that I just kept stuffing everything in, that I mentioned earlier. I don't want to carry that around anymore. And in order to not do that, I have to keep my trigger pile to a minimum,
Yeah.
right? I have to keep, I have to, I have to work through them as they're coming in.
Yeah. They used to say like leave it at the door, right? Like
Yeah.
you got to leave your baggage at the door when you come to work. But the real way to not bring your baggage to work is to like put it away, right? Like put it where it belongs. Some things belong in the trash, some things
Mm-hmm.
belong in the drawers, right? Like
Mm.
put it where it belongs.
But you know what's so funny, Becky, is that like when that that analogy makes so much sense to me when it comes to physical things, right? Like I'm the first person to be like, incoming. Okay, what is it? Do I need it? No. Into the garbage, right? Or oh, this is something I should file for later. Okay, put it in this drawer, file for later. Like for some reason, the physical processing of
Mm-hmm.
things is no problem for me, totally natural. But when it comes to feelings, emotions, hard things, triggers, when it comes to that stuff, that was like a whole nother ball game for me.
It is. And I think part of that is in most situations, we don't physically see it in front of us, but it does manifest in physical ways, right? We don't feel great. We don't sleep great. We're crankier. Maybe crap is piling up around your house, and that's not
Mm-hmm.
the type of person that you normally are, right? Like, maybe you your physical health, your like those things. I think it does manifest, but we don't necessarily connect the dots. Whereas if there's a pile of mail sitting on the table, you're going to see it every time you walk by the table,
Mm-hmm.
right? And like I think that is something that just comes with growth. Like
Mm.
I don't think that there is a way around that, but it just comes with growth. But like how can we, and I know we talked about this with AI, like sometimes I just talk to Chat GPT because if I'm feeling like I don't want to burden my friends with this or I don't want to do that, then I still have somebody to talk to, right? Like,
Yep.
and I am not saying talk to robots and don't talk to people. That's not what I'm saying, but like, sometimes that is the answer for me, but like what can we do to help create better connections with our 2 a.m. friends, with our 12-minute friends, with the people that we would be willing, no matter what. Even if they haven't done it for you, there are people in your circle that you would be willing, no matter what, to pick up the phone for. So, how do we cultivate with them?
Yeah.
How do we cultivate with them? And I think that there are a lot of fun things that we can use technology for. One of my favorites is voice messages.
You do that so well. I love that. I love that you do that.
There will be times where like I'm texting with somebody and I'm like, pause, you need to hear me say this.
Oh, I know.
Right. And then,
I've gotten your voice messages.
right. Like you need to hear me. You need to hear my words say this because sometimes we can't. We can't commit to a 30-minute phone call. And like I get that. Life is busy, right? Like, and I do think if somebody really, really needed it, I would absolutely find the time to make that happen. But like sometimes that voice message may be more than we can imagine. Because do you know what they have the ability to do with the voice message versus a phone call? They can save it,
Yeah.
right? And if I'm taking the time to say, you need to hear this, it's normally something they probably really do need to hear. It's normally some type of pouring into my friends, right? Or my family or whoever that is.
Mm-hmm.
And they can save that and they can come back to it for when they're feeling that again.
I love that so
So I think
much.
that's one. What about you? Do you have any?
You know, yeah, I was just thinking about one. I love snail mail.
Mm,
I
yes.
love a good handwritten note. Something about It doesn't even have to be cute stationery. It can be any old thing. I don't know, whatever, any old piece of
Yep.
paper. But something about a handwritten note, I think it carries a lot of love and energetic weight.
Yep.
Went to open it up and know that the person touched the paper, that the
Hmm.
person held the pen to touch the paper, that the person sat and made the space
Yeah.
to write that and think
Hmm.
about you. And like, I don't know, there's just something really special about mail for me.
Yeah. Mm.
And I
I
love
love
to
that you said
send
that.
mail. I love to send
Yes.
mail.
I
So,
often get mail from you and I love it.
so
I love it.
yeah, but whatever your thing is, right? Whatever your love language is, whatever your
Yeah.
whatever preferred form of connection is, try it out,
That's right.
and if
I'm
see
like
how the other
video
person
calls.
receives it,
Yeah.
and
I love video calls because I feel like it gives me the opportunity to connect to the people who I love a lot who are further away from me.
mm, mm-hmm.
Right. And with my 2 a.m. friends, I do not show up polished. Right. Like it is just like those people could walk into my house and it'd be a disaster. And not that I ever want that to happen, but they could and it would be okay. Right. Like
Of course.
the same way. And one of my really good friends, we live, several hours away from each other. And every Christmas Eve, we video call more than that, but like every Christmas Eve we video call and do all of the last minute any we drink our wine and do any last minute Christmas stuff together. And it
Oh,
is always like it is like our standing date. It happens every Christmas Eve and it has for the last 5 years. And like it's
I
not
love it.
fancy and it's crazy and we're doing other things and we're distracted, but you know what we are doing? Witnessing each other. You know what we are
Mm-hmm.
doing? Creating magical moments for our children with each other. You know what we are doing? Cultivating the friendship, right? Like
Yeah.
just by being with each other, because there is something about like coexistence and co-regulation. And I think that that's something very beautiful that technology has given us is that we can coexist with somebody who's not right there.
Yeah. Wow. I've never thought of that in a positive way. That's so interesting to hear you say that because you just made it sound absolutely delightful. Like that's something I want and crave and should do more of. I've always thought about that as almost like a I've always thought about that as some sort of like, I don't know, manufactured codependence. Like I'll give you an example. My teenage son and his girlfriend, they're connecting on FaceTime 24/7. I mean, they would do it 24/7 if they could.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
they are like she is literally on the phone tilted sideways, like you can barely see her head. She's like laying on her bed or something. I don't know. She's not even fully on camera. And my son's got it propped up over by the sink when he's washing the dishes. And they're just on. They're not even really talking sometimes. Like they're just
Probably could be a little
on
codependence
together,
also.
and I'm like, what in the world are you doing? And my I've seen this with my daughter. I think it's a pretty common thing with young people
Yeah.
right now in this day and age where they're they just need to be on with each other all the time. Like they just need to seem to be
Yeah.
technically close.
Yeah.
Maybe that's because we don't have the same level of physical closeness,
Yeah.
that we
Maybe.
used to have or whatever, or it's just the device has enabled such
Yeah.
things, so why wouldn't we do it? But
I mean, I think there can be pluses and minuses. I'm not sure that I would love that situation, right? I get really
yeah.
frustrated. My kids are on video calls the whole time. And like, also, I know like this is something I've done even in our workspace. So I have the great honor of leading a team in where I work. And we have like twice a week. They're optional. You don't have to come. They're not, but we call them like co-working sessions, and it's because there is science behind like body doubling is what that's called, and like the coexistence and co-regulation all kind of fall in that together, where like sometimes we're not even talking, we're literally working, Like there's not necessarily
Yeah.
words, but because we all work remotely, it gives us that connection point because like like I mentioned earlier and like you've said a couple times too, Lacey, is like even though it's so easy, I could just pick up the phone and video call you right now, right? There is still a big disconnect, right? Like there is still the level of connection is not the same. And so like like to the mama who's moved or to the military mom or to like right like I think that there are a lot of situations that maybe we don't live in proximity of our 2 a.m. friends because that is life, right? Like but
Mm-hmm.
like that is something beautiful that technology has given us. It still gives us the ability to connect,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, you know, I know like our kids don't have to deal with nights and weekends. That's the only time I could talk to
Yeah,
people on
right.
a cell phone, right? Was
Singular wireless roaming
nights and
charges, nights
weekends.
and week.
Yeah. Like, and is that a bonus? I don't know, right? Like, I think that there was some things to that, but man, if like, if you could spend 10 minutes face to face with your very best friend in the whole wide world, why wouldn't you do it?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's stopping us?
Well,
So,
nothing. Nothing
nothing.
is stopping us. That's the
I'm
truth
gonna
of it.
randomly video call you. It's coming, just so you know.
Yes, girl. Call
It's
me
gonna I
anytime.
have. I actually one time I did do that. We were looking at Christmas lights. I don't know if you remember that,
You
but
did. You did
we
call me.
I
I
was like, "Oh
remember.
my gosh, you have to see this," right? Because
Ah!
it's just fun. So
Well,
yeah,
that's called sharing life, and I absolutely love that. And
right.
I want to do more of that. And so yeah, I mean, just maybe ladies, this is just an opportunity for you to kind of, check it, right? Just
Yeah.
check in with yourself. Like, how am I doing? How am I feeling with these friendships and these connections? And how, maybe how can I serve them better? And how would I love to be served? Right. And maybe,
Yeah.
I invite you, have that conversation
Mm,
or
yeah,
ask for the thing that you need or,
exactly.
you know, um, let yourself be a little bit vulnerable and see what kind of magic happens.
Yeah. And if maybe you don't have a need, maybe you just want them to know, right? Maybe it's, hey, you're my 12-minute friend, or you're my 2 a.m. friend, or you're my insert whatever the name is for you. And I just wanted you to know I'm really grateful you're in my life. I think that was the only other point I had written down, Lacey, is that I think that the best way and like the best thing that we can do for the people that we love and care about and that we want to cultivate relationships with and the people who witness us is that when we see them and we're thinking about them, that is probably for a purpose, right? When somebody comes into your heart and they're holding space in your life, it is for a purpose. Let them know.
Mm,
Let
mm,
them know, hey, you were on my heart today. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if you need something. I don't know this, but I just wanted you to know I was thinking about you. I love you. You were worthy. You were seen. You were enough. You were all of those things because
mm,
we're connected. It's in a way deeper web than people think. And likely, if you're having those feelings, it is for a reason. Right. And I don't mean bad feelings. I mean, like, literally, there will be times where I'm like, oh, I haven't talked to that person since the 6th grade. And for whatever reason, I'm thinking about them today and I will send them a message. I
mm-hmm.
think I do a lot of things wrong, but I do that right. I let people know when I'm thinking about them
Yes, you
because
do.
it's important.
But I think to wrap this up, Becky, that is so beautiful. To wrap this up, I just wanted to say, that I think this research, what I got out of this conversation and the research is that there is a brain body connection, right? Like our physical needs are connected to our emotional needs, right?
Mhm.
And our, like, the way we take in information, the way we communicate external, outside of ourselves, all connects back to our overall health, right? And yeah, I don't know, it's all connected. I guess that's my point. It's all connected. And you know, when we have unmet needs, it's okay to look outside yourself.
Yeah.
It's okay to look outside yourself to fill those needs, um and and it's a gift to be able to
Mm.
do that for someone else in return.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And can I say one more thing? I'm
of
sorry,
course.
because that was beautiful. But um, I just feel led to say to the mama who may be listening to this, who feels like they have nobody, you have us. You have us. And I mean that
Yeah.
truly, that like if you need a lifeline, like they tell you when you're learning to swim that if you are having distress that you need to raise your hand. And while we shouldn't always have to raise our hand, sometimes that's where we have to start. So if you really truly are like, I have no one, please, please, please send us a message. We'll reach out to you. We'll connect with you. We will be there with you because you are seen, you are loved, you are valued, you are enough, and nobody but you gets to write your story.
Mm. Until next time.